This segment of the NexGen Patriots podcast is sponsored in support of the West Virginia Tobacco Quit Line. If you or someone you love is ready to quit tobacco, you're just one phone call away. Trained coaches are available to provide guidance, resources, and support every step of the way. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW for free coaching, helpful resources, and encouragement to help you break free from tobacco. That's 1-800-QUIT-NOW to take the first step towards a healthier future. Mr. Jeff Spencer, welcome to the NexGen Patriots podcast. It's an honor to have you as part of this 250th series that we are showcasing as everyday patriots like you that make up this great country. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Yes, thank you. So everybody kind of gets to know you a little bit better. What's some of your interests, hobbies, things you like to do outside of your daily work?
Okay, good question. I enjoy farming, and along with farming comes many opportunities. So we like dirt biking and the UTVs, and mixed in with that are building muscle cars and flying, and just good times with people.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want to forget about the flying, this beautiful plane that you have here. Kind of tell us a little bit about the plane. What is it? How did you get it? And a little bit about that.
So it's a 1958 Cessna 172, and it has been in our family for around 50 years.
Wow.
And so my father learned to fly in it, and my uncle, and so I learned to fly in it as well. So it means something to the family, and we really enjoy it.
Yeah. It's still a beautiful plane, even for its age. Taking well good care of it.
Thank you.
So everybody has an introduction, and so we'll walk through your career a little bit. So kind of walk us through, unpack a little bit here. What did you do right side of high school all the way up to you retired, and kind of walk us through that a little bit.
Okay. So right out of high school, this area in Ohio was pretty depressed, and so my father was a principal and superintendent teacher. And so I followed those footsteps through college and had many opportunities in college to play baseball and different things. We were still farming quite a few acres at the time. And this is when a Honda moved into this area. And my dad was working ground in the back field. And I went back and told him that I applied for the Honda job. And he was really wanting me to go into teaching and follow his footsteps. However, he did say that, try it out and, we'll see if that works. And he was very open-minded about it. And it worked out very well for me.
Yeah. So how long did you do that then at Honda?
So I worked at Honda 37 and a half years.
Wow.
And at the time we were just making motorcycles, but then it expanded into several car plants across the United States. And everyone would know that history if they look into it. And then I got married in 1982. Had 2 daughters, and we continued farming through that whole time. And I would work at Honda, then I would come home and farm, and whether it be many hours into the evening or the morning, you still get cleaned up and go to work next day. So
how was you able to balance working at Honda and then still continue to farm?
Well, thankfully, tractors have lights, and so. It was a wholesome vocation, and my daughters really enjoyed it as well. And so we did the horses and the dirt bikes, and we had feeder cattle and sheep and anything else you could name. And it just became part of their life and part of their creativity as they grew up.
Wow, that's amazing. What a legacy to keep going in your family. How long has this, now this is a family farm, correct?
It is.
And how long has that been going in the family?
So we moved here in 1965, and so I was 5 years old at the time. And what's interesting, the house, the barns, and 30 acres, my dad purchased that for $16,000. And the house was built in 1857. And likewise the barn. So it was a very unique opportunity, and to see the many changes that occurred in farming and many other technologies in the world along the way. It just was a great place to grow up.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So as we kind of walk through here a little bit, we have segments that we kind of break down into here, but I kind of want to start off first off with the segment one, talking about a little bit about your farming career and Honda. And so for generations, family farms have helped feed communities and shape our country all over the nation. Do you think people still understand that importance?
Well, that's a great question. Just throw some statistics in. In 1800, nearly every American was a farmer. By the 1960s, because post-World War II, 8.7% were farmers. Today, that number is 1.3 to 1.8. So that kind of bookends your question. So ironically, I've been asked, I had a specific lawyer ask me, and really was sincere, where did the eggs come from in chickens?
Yeah.
And it was sad, but I was glad to be able to answer that. But I think we have lost touch with the agricultural society, because you can go to a grocery store and buy, and that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
In a lot of people's minds.
Yeah. It's a really good take on it. Wow. It's not really a dying industry, because I don't think it will ever be, but it's definitely dwindling for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
How are solar farms? Now this is one I know is very touchy. How are solar farms affecting family farms and communities today?
Well, in my opinion, we lived in a polar-based society. It's very few people were in the middle, because you're not allowed to be in the middle. Yeah. You either have to be one side or the other. So with that in mind, perhaps people are very concerned about the amount of farmland that is being lost in each state. And I just read an article the other day that over 1 million acres have been lost in Ohio due to development, building projects, factories, and solar panels. So as far as solar panels are concerned, when you look at that, change is dynamic, because it wouldn't be change if it wasn't dynamic.
Yeah.
But at one point in time, our society put up electric poles, and we had electricity, and people got used to those. Then they put the massive electric lines up, and we got used to those. At one time, there were no water towers. They put water towers up. Well, that's an eyesore, but now people got used to those.
Yeah.
We will adapt to whatever happens, because we're adaptive people. The thought of losing farm ground for energy, I think it's been very politicized, and I think the verdict is still out on the efficiency of wind and solar.
Yeah. And as time grows, those things will get more efficient, but it still takes, people's land, people's families. So, as we know, rising food cost has affected many families, especially in this last year. How has that changed farming?
So, the economics of farming, of course, you have the end user, the people that buy the product out of the grocery store. Yep. Then you have the middleman, or the processor. And then you have the producer, which is the farmer. With that in mind, for the last 3 years, I have sold my soybeans per bushel for the same price that I sold them in 1979. There has not been an increase.
Wow.
And so right now there's economic stress on the farmer due to rising costs in fertilizers, fuel, and many other maintenance type items. Costs have tripled.
Yeah.
The price for the commodity has stayed or went down. And so it's very challenging for the local farmer to stay in business. I just read where the largest farmer is out west, and they had like 440,000 acres, and they filed bankruptcy. So it's a very serious situation right now for the American farmer.
Yeah, wow. And that's something that's not really emphasized or talked about a lot.
This is true.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something to definitely catch back up on for sure. So now I kind of wanted to move into aviation, and we're with this beautiful plane, but talk a little bit about the process. I don't know if it's just different, varies from state. I'm sure not really, but as a federal stance, what's the process of becoming a pilot certified just to even fly this plane?
Okay. So what you typically do now, if you want to be a glider pilot, you can solo at 14.
Okay.
And fly a glider. And then you can get your private pilot's license. Then you can solo at 16 and get your private pilot's license at 17.
Okay.
So what you would do is go to the local airport, say, hey, I'm interested in flying. And a lot of times they'll take you up for just a welcome flight, or just to find out if you really like it or not. And if the juices start flowing and say, I really like this, then they will put you with an instructor, and then you will learn the basic characteristics of flight. And so you would, go out and learn how to take off and land, and you get that. And then you would learn probably 75% of the training is emergency procedures.
Okay.
And you learn how to fly the airplane as a result of those emergency procedures, because when everything is going good, it's easy. Mm-hmm. When everything is not, you rely on training.
Yeah.
And so then you solo, let's say you solo at 16, and at that point, you're allowed to go out by yourself. And solo means the instructor gets out, and he'll ask you to do 3 takeoffs, 3 landings. And then you've officially soloed. And then you work up from there. You go out and fly by yourself and do maneuvers that you had worked on with the instructor. And you continue your flight training with the instructor. And then you can become a private pilot at 17. And then you can take passengers at that point in time.
Okay. Now, what's the length of that process? Like how long would that take? A year, 2 years?
Oh, that's a great question. It's the aptitude of the person.
Okay.
So you can take a lesson once per week, once per month. It's designed however fast you want to do it, because if somebody's working, then they have a family, they have to work all that in. Mm-hmm. And you can take ground school to accelerate that. Okay. As well, but it's a worthy activity for achievement. I would encourage everybody to do that.
Yeah.
And once you do it, if you never fly again, you've achieved something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For someone who's never sat in a plane, what is it about aviation that keeps you coming back?
So every time I take off, I push the throttle in and I take off, and I just kind of. As I look out the window and things are rushing by, and then it's magic. The plane lifts off. And of course, we know that it involves fluid dynamics and molecules and all that. Mm-hmm. But it's just, I look at out the wing, and it's like, this is still unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the view from in the sky on a sunset or even a sunrise is just amazing. At times, we can go above the clouds, and it's like you just want to jump out into that cotton.
Yeah.
It's just, it's surreal. It really is. And
and
you see sights that you never get to see on the ground.
Yeah.
And it's a freedom, because there's no politics. Mm-hmm. There's no law enforcement. There's no anything in the air. It's just a total freedom and a very peaceful time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a real deep connection with yourself. Yeah, you can tell.
Yes.
Yeah. As conversations continue around pilot shortages and the travel demand, what do you see as a long-term solution to this?
Well, as we all know, the autonomous aircraft, wars are being fought with autonomous aircraft.
Yeah.
And with the navigation systems that are getting better and better and more accurate and more dependable, I believe that will be the future of aviation. In the commercial side. Mm-hmm. On the GA side, flying is flying, and everybody wants to just fly.
Right.
But as far as people movers go, probably one day we'll be looking at autonomous airliners, I believe.
Well, that kind of leads me into my next question. Do you think AI will ever replace pilots?
Well, AI taps into a consortium of experiences very quickly. Mm-hmm. And of course, if you have that ability, if pilots had that ability, it would be a different game.
Right.
So AI can be used to perform that activity in a very effective manner. The systems that give AI its brains, shall we say, it has to be foolproof.
Yeah.
Because it can almost, but it cannot think and feel and speak and see as a human can. It never will.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think it's ever possible, as far as like a robotic stance, that, obviously they have like autopilot and stuff nowadays. Do you think that's advanced further in the years to come?
Sure. I was talking with a friend of mine, and he said that he's got a system on his airplane that his wife can, if something happens to him medically, he can push a button. The airplane will pick 10 airports, choose the best one for an ILS landing, which is an instrument landing system.
Okay.
And will automatically set up, because it's got autopilot, it'll automatically set up, make the landing, pull up to the terminal, shut the engine off, and tell you to get out. That exists today.
Wow.
So we're not that far from that with autopilot.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you experienced any of those things yourself flying?
As far as
a pilot, have you experienced any of that technology or anything similar?
I've ridden with friends that have high-end aircraft.
Okay.
And yes, I mean, they can just
Incredible.
They can go, let's say, up to 3 to 5 layers deep on a redundancy in the cockpit, and it's just amazing. Where if something happens to me, my wife's got to land it. So it's just the way it'll be at this point in time.
Yeah. What's the longest flight you've ever had with this plane?
So that I've had with this plane, we've been out to Iowa before, and we've been into Michigan pretty far, and Virginia, Manassas, Virginia.
Okay.
My dad has flown to Canada and much further distances.
Wow.
So
this plane has definitely been around. That's for sure.
Yes, it has.
Wow, that's amazing. So as we kind of run into our last segment here, into the America's 250th anniversary, as we celebrate this anniversary, what does this milestone mean to you personally?
So in reflecting, and I have reflected on that because I was around for the 200th bicentennial in 1976. And it was a special time, and reflecting on what the fathers had to do to create this great land that we live in, and keep freedom. You have to have laws to keep freedom. It's not for the lawless; it's for the law abiding. And what they had to go through, and their foresight on what we would be experiencing even today. Freedom is not dynamic. Freedom is very static. And with that in mind, the ancillary activities around freedom are what are dynamic. And we have to keep those in check, that we don't degrade freedom, the static issue of freedom. So with 250 coming up, it's a very honorable situation to reflect on our country. And our country has not always done its best for whatever reasons. And that probably is true with any country.
Right.
But nevertheless, it's the best country on earth. And I'm very proud to be an American in this country, where I live, and the county and the township that I live in. I'm very proud of that.
And something I really want to focus on here briefly, you talk about being American. And so I really want to talk a little bit about freedom briefly, because I think we often forget the freedoms that we have. I mean, there's many countries you just wouldn't be able to just take off, in your plane. And for those of you who don't know, he has a grass landing strip on his property. There's many countries you couldn't do that, just to have that freedom. Explain why freedom is worth fighting for.
Well, that's a great question. Because typically we use the term, we take things for granted. But if you look up the definition of taking things for granted, that means you don't appreciate what you have. I appreciate what I have, so I'm not taking things for granted. However, if those items and activities that I do today are taken away from me, then I would say, wait a minute. I would not say, well, I took that for granted. That is not the case. But that would be a freedom that is taken away from me.
Yeah.
And I would look on that as a little disappointed.
Yeah.
But I understand laws, and sometimes folks get that mixed up between laws to help the skies be safer versus that's my freedom, that's my right. We get those mixed up sometimes as humans.
Yeah.
And we have to keep that clear.
Yeah, yeah. We have to keep it clear between a safety net and between just man rule. It's two different things.
That is correct.
Yeah, yep. And what role do industries like aviation play in America's next chapter?
Well, they are people movers. We know that, first and foremost. And we also have an element called the military. We have a great military, the best in the world. And it defends this great country. And we have top-notch equipment, and we have top-notch pilots. So with that being said, we have to continue on the cutting edge of technology in air power, because if you own the skies above you, then you're safe.
Yeah.
But if the day you don't own the skies above you, it's over. For example, when Hermann Göring in Germany in World War II saw the P-51 Mustang above his head, he said, the war is over. If you cannot own your skies, then you will not survive.
Yeah.
So I believe in air power. And air power is I believe, is the best deterrent for aggression.
Yeah. Where do you see it as far as an industry like with drones, though, and being used with companies, and how do you see that?
Great point. So drones and so forth, which is aviation, they are spraying the fields today.
Yeah.
They can run across a field. We used one some time ago, and we were drawn to weed pressures in the field. So we didn't have to spray the whole field. We could go right to where those weed pressures were, knock the weeds out, and have it cost down. Just from a simple drone and looking from the top down, even from what the airplane can't.
Yeah.
The drone can stop and take a picture.
Yeah.
I have to keep moving in this above stall speed.
Yeah.
And so it was very useful to see where maybe groundhogs or pressures or something, environment pressures were on the crops. Or where a tree went down, we have to get back and get it cleaned up. And we can do that more efficiently with drone technology.
It's probably more cost efficient as well.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. Especially to be able to spray the fields like that.
Yes.
It's remarkable. So if you could leave one message for Americans celebrating the 300th anniversary, what would you want them to remember? That's a deep question.
That's a deep question. I'm pausing. I think sometimes science is golden.
That's all right.
I believe we all must reach within ourselves and not let daily events that occur and not let social media define us.
Yeah, that's good.
Don't let anything define you. And we let that happen too much. It affects us.
Yeah.
So my motto is, don't let anything define you, whether it be another country, whether it be another fad or controversy, or you brought up solar panels. Yep, we need to talk about it. But I do not let it define me.
Yeah.
I'm not a different individual because they're putting up solar panels. I won't let it define me.
Right.
And I believe that we need to check ourselves as a human race and not let it define us. Debate, discuss, decide, move on.
Yeah.
Looking forward, I think it's a very precious thing to preserve this freedom. And we know that there are movements coming in. We can look at New York and see the movements coming in, the pressures, and it's changing our capitalistic society. And I think we have to be very careful when we start going down those roads, because the capitalistic society allows you and invites you to become what you would want to be and dream to be what you would ever want to be.
Yeah.
And that is available through freedom.
Yeah. 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 Allows you to dream and achieve those. Yeah. Yeah.
That is correct.
As you brought that up, though, I'm going to stand on the controversy side just for the sake. Why do you see, though, a lot of times you see on social media or whatever in articles the stance of, but everybody should be equal or should get equal. Why do you have a different viewpoint of that, if you would like to share?
In a capitalistic society, typically, you can work hard and people will notice and give breaks. You can make your own breaks. You can set yourself up. And you can work hard, as we did on the farm. We worked hard. We worked day and night. Mm-hmm. I got off of a tractor to play baseball. I got back on when baseball was over. We worked all night. And when you saw the sun come up, that's pretty cool because you saw it go down. Mm-hmm. And you're still out there farming. And it gives you part ownership of the ground, and being a good steward to the ground through freedom allows you to achieve those dreams.
Yeah.
So if I put the hard work in, then I will be rewarded for that. Mm-hmm. Versus if I don't put the hard work in, then I don't deserve to be rewarded for that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. As to this next question, as we wrap it up here, this next question I ask in every interview. And the reason behind it is because everybody has an interesting point of view on this. In your own words, how would you define success?
That's a great point. So success, there's a couple different ways to look at success. Mm-hmm. Having been a manager, there is statistically, okay? And I'll answer it in this way. I had a management philosophy that I taught my people. The first one was do your best. And you know in your soul whether you did your best or not. Mm-hmm. Only you know in your soul you did the best. Mm-hmm. Admiral Rickover was interviewing Jimmy Carter. It's in Jimmy Carter's book. Jimmy Carter scored very high. He was in the top 10 in his Naval Academy class. And he wanted to get into the nuclear submarine project. So Admiral Rickover was the father of nuclear submarines. And he asked all the questions, and Jimmy Carter was feeling pretty good. He said, pretty good. Until he asked one question. Because it was easy for Jimmy Carter to go through it. And he said, "Sailor, did you do your best?" And he said, I just paused. He says, "I couldn't lie to my soul."
Yeah.
I couldn't lie to my soul. And he says, "No, sir." He says, "You're dismissed." He did not get into it. Mm-hmm. So I believe doing your best is your best. It's measurable by you only.
Right.
But I expect it.
Yeah.
The second one was excellence. Those two items. When you do something, do it your best, and do it as excellent as you can. Mm-hmm. We can line trash cans up. And you can say, when is good enough? Or you can say, I'm going to scribe a line, I'm going to put the edge right there, and I can measure that excellence. Mm-hmm. And so that is within oneself as well. Do your best and always do excellence.
Yeah.
Pursue excellence.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can tell that you've used that motto in your life as you've landed now in your retirement years. It's very, very evident. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, Mr. Spencer, once again, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you on, and thanks for being on this special series honoring the 250th anniversary.
It's my pleasure.
It's been an honor. And until next time, we will see you guys in the next one.